So we have drawing, we have not zooming, we have panning, drawing, panning. Next up will be zooming, for which I want to use middle mouse button in combination with those relative UVs I've showed you recently. Okay, so again we go to parent parameters, and instead of right for relative, we go for middle to obtain the relative stuff. So by activating those things, we can use I think wheel. No, it's not wheel. So not wheel, this is just not used. I will already just delete it because it's just confusing. There you go. But anyway, this or these U and V values are still in here but not being used. But if we open up our panel, now that we went into our parent parameters and we activated the relative UV for the middle mouse button, we will see that these are actually being updated. So what I want to do is just like the zooming in TouchDesigner, I want to middle mouse button and in the V direction. So if I just select this one and go for the V, I see that I now have like, if I release my mouse, it remembers where I left off. So I next middle mouse button click, I can go further to 0 or to 1, whatever. But anyway, this is the technique that I'll be using for zooming. So next up, I want to limit to or between, so clamp between 0 and 1. Next, I'll obtain like a value between 0 and 1, but I'll want to range map this to range. So from 0 to 1, I want to go from 0 to 100. So therefore I'll be shifting or zooming between 0 and 100. And in this way I can not linearly zoom, but I can use, I think it's called an S, something with an S, spline or something, S-curve. An S-curve, steepness, let's see, something like this if I'm not mistaken. So let's go for 0.15. This goes from 0 to 100, so let's put this also at 100, and in this way we can use a lookup chop. The index is the first one, so this will be the index, and it will tell the lookup which value of these to take. So if I go down normally, okay, so this one I also still need to put at 100, and then you'll be able to do a gradual zoom between 0 and 1. This is because at lower values the zooming needs to be more precise than at higher values, where it can be a bit more coarse, or I don't know how you say. But anyway, with such a S-curve and a lookup, make sure that length is the same as the range. So the range can tell you which of those 100 samples you actually need to read out or look up, and this will give us a zoom value. So we can end this little sequence with a null and call it zoom. So therefore we should be able to go into our master. In this math we also have, we can just reuse this math. It's now used for adding those two, but we can also use it for our zooming. So if we add a select, and we go look one level up. For the zoom null we just created, we can use this one to drive the multiplying, and there you can see it. Everything, if I now middle mouse button click, everything is zooming between 0, very small, and 100. Maybe this is too small as it becomes 0, so we might put it at like, yeah, maybe 0.01 might be enough. So let's do that. So for this we probably go up and we go into our S-curve. Now it goes from 0 to 1, but let's make it 0.01. So now if we go all the way to 0 in the zoom, it gets capped or clamped at this 0.01 value. If we zoom, this is 100, so that's nice and smooth zooming. But if I'm not mistaken, we now have offset again. So yes, if we're not at a, let's see, if we're not at 100%, our mouse and our actual line positions are not matching up. So therefore, if I am not mistaken, I might use this one. No, I need to use another math to compensate for this. So if I place in a new math, I can just use this zoom in order to counteract this zooming. So I can let's see, range, no, math multiply. So the zooming or the factor that I'm generating here, I need to counteract at this level. So if I multiply by this, not again, but by the inverse, 1 over this, and then I start drawing normal. Okay, it's not connected yet. So if I do this now, yes, connect it up, start drawing again, now it matches. If I zoom out, it matches. If I zoom in way more, it matches. It keeps matching. Yes, that's exactly what we want. And we have like very little details we can add on this level, but we can add some more on this level, add some more on this level, add some more in this level. So we have moving, panning, zooming. So that's starting to look like nice drawing application. Okay, so the demo was also showing a zoom value. So for this, another little container, so it can be visualized in our parent container. Our parent container doesn't have any children alignment, so we can just freely position this one by hand. We will keep it at 50 by 50. Let's go in, give it a text top. With the text, what text do we want? Let's call this Z, so I can easily find it in here. So I can say yes, I already copied it from my previous project, so that's nice and easy. Change it to Python, and there you have the zoom level at 0. If I zoom out, you should be able to doing something wrong. Probably yes, probably. Okay, I was okay. Yeah, this can still go lower than 0 and higher than 1. So if I keep dragging it up, it's not doing anything, and then it only starts doing something once I've gone below 1 again. So that's maybe some small fix you can do on your own, but yeah. Anyway, container 1 is not showing anything, so look inside. Probably it's called text1. Yes, there you have it. Does it have the, no, 2256 is not necessary, so just make it 50-50, or you can just say fit or parent panel size, and then if I change the parent panel size to something bigger, this one will just follow along, and it's the correct resolution and not too big, not too small. It will be nice and clear. Okay, now this one is placed left bottom corner, but I want to have it on the other side. So for this, let's go to layout, post offset. I know that my parent container is 1280. So I move it 1280 to the right, but now it will be just outside of view. So I do -50, and there it is. Maybe, okay, that's okay. So now I know what zoom level I am at. Sometimes it's nice to start off drawing something at zoom level 50, so you have some headroom to get a bigger picture above, or have some room to go to 100% and add some details on this level. So that's all for that. So that's the zoom already. Let's remove all those lines. So we have like something to show, some details, some overview, whatever you want. And again, you can tweak those zoom ranges yourself, so you can even go further in or out or whatever. So you can add more detail or whatever you need. But that's all for the zooming. Let's go back to 50%. Check. Okay. Remove all the lines. Let's see what's next. Next, we can still like make the line width a bit more responsive. So you can just, most of the time I just put this at 0, definitely that we're just working with an orthographic camera. There's no real depth or perspective to use this far near stuff, and I'll just use these ones, put them at the same level. Anyway, I can add in a select, so I can select this limit, which goes from 0 to 1, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, min, max, 0, 1. So I can range map this value with the math again between a range of 1/2 and something like 7. And then we can use this one to drive near. And then you should be able to see that now we have a thicker line, which actually becomes thinner when moving out, and thicker. Yeah, you can follow along here. So it becomes thicker, and it doesn't stay very thin. Like if you zoom in, you have more space, and you can easily make the line a bit thicker. Otherwise it's super tiny. But if you zoom out, it becomes a bit more narrow, so it doesn't take up a lot of space, so you can still see some detail when zooming out, instead of having one big fat blob of line in the distance. So that's that. Still movable, still zoomable. Okay, that's that.